Blog Talk Radio.
Good evening and welcome to House Talk with Dr. Lauren Pitts. It is March and it is the beginning of a fantastic month where we're going to be talking about men's issues and those things that are on the minds of men. Tonight we are honored to have a special guest co-host with Dr. Pitts, Dr. Anton Bazell. He is president and CEO of the Bazell Group. He has more than 20 years of combined clinical research, health services, policy and management experiences with various private and public sector organizations within the Health and Human Services Department. Most of his career has been spent on public health issues related to access and quality of medical and substance abuse and behavioral health services. He has extensive experience in collaborating and interacting with health professional and community organizations, as well as an expert knowledge in identifying and treating medical diseases in the fields of primary care, mental health, and substance abuse. Welcome, Dr. Bazell.
Good evening, and welcome to House Talk with Dr. Lauren Pitts. My name is Dr. Anton Bazell, and I will be your co-host this evening. Dr. Pitts, it is my pleasure to join you tonight and kick off a month-long series discussing issues of concern of men. I believe it's very timely, relevant, and I look forward to the discussion.
Dr. Bazell, thank you so much for being willing to co-host with me tonight. I really do count it a privilege and an honor, and for all of the men that are with us tonight and our listeners, I'm really, really excited about this month and about tonight. It's going to be a powerful, powerful month, so you're definitely going to want to share it with every man that you know, because there's going to be a wealth of really great information.
Yeah, and I believe it too. And I can tell you right now, listeners, you're going to have an exciting show today. And of course, we want to hear from you. And we have a few housekeeping rules before we get started that I need to share. When we open up the lines to take your call for questions, please limit your responses to one question and one follow-up so that we can hear from as many of you as possible this evening. Now let's get started. Tonight, our subject is about the whole man, physically, spiritually, and mentally. It is also National Nutrition Week, so what better time to talk about health of men? And we have a great panel joining us to discuss this topic. So please welcome Mr. Desmond West, who is a family therapist based in Delaware, and Dr. Gregory Williams. He is a noted author and counselor from Houston, Texas. Welcome, gentlemen.
Good evening, and thank you for having me.
Good evening. Great to be with you.
Yes, also great to be with you all as well, and looking forward to an exciting evening. And I know the time will go by pretty quickly. Let's just jump straight on in. The Cleveland Clinic surveyed more than about 500 men between the ages of 18 and 70 across the United States and found that only 3 in 5 men get an annual physical, but just over 4% go to the doctor only when they fear that they have a serious medical condition. Now, growing up in the South, this is something I've heard too often. So, Dr. Williams or Mr. West, why don't men go to the doctor?
Well, I can say, and this is Desmond West speaking. I grew up in the north of Philadelphia, and you know the black community. Unfortunately, a lot of men don't feel as though the hospitals are suitable or a suitable place to, go and or feel comfortable going to the hospital because they, for one, don't want to learn that they're diagnosed with something in particular, or they don't feel as though they get treated properly in the hospital setting.
Okay. So now, Dr. Williams, what are your thoughts on that? Why don't men go to the doctor?
For the same reason men don't stop and ask for directions when they're lost. We can do it ourselves. We can do it ourselves.
Okay.
And it's a pride issue. It's a strength issue. It's an empowerment issue of, I don't need that. I can just I'll doctor myself until it's so bad and mess it up, and then go to the doctor and say, hey, can you fix what I just messed up?
Okay. But let me tell you, like, since I was talking about the South, one of the things about it, growing up down there, we heard about, many different issues or health challenges that men face. We've heard of things like used to call it sugar diabetes. We used to call it like the big C for cancer. Now, what are some of the health challenges or the most prevalent health challenges that men face today?
Well, I think, go ahead, doctor.
No, you got it, Doc.
I personally think that anxiety is a major one. Depression. I think prostate. I think those three at least first come to my mind. I had no clue what the questions were going to be tonight, so but those three popped in my mind immediately. I think some of those things are things that we really don't want anybody into our business in those areas, and thus the reason they don't get treated till sometimes the damage is too far gone.
Yeah, and I think definitely the mental health challenges are some of the biggest ones that we're faced with. And some of the latest even stats that I've seen over the last 20 years, we've even seen like a doubling in the number of suicide amongst African American men between the ages of 5 and 10. So what is really going on these days?
I think it can be a plethora of different. Could range from maybe drug use, which can clog the brain, or like the doctor said, depression, which once again stems from not wanting to go to the doctor to seek that attention, so they want to self-medicate with additional or more drugs that will continue to harm and deteriorate the body. So, yeah, I think that is a prevalent problem with men. Some men, not all, some men.
Oh, yeah, I think doctors, a lot of the issues is that men don't open up and share. So we bottle it up, and then we become a 2-liter bottle of soda, and you can just start shaking it, and eventually it's going to explode. And if we don't deal with issues to the core of what's going on inside of us with depression, with mental anxiety, with emotional issues in the mental health area, especially, we have to start coming up with ways to where we can sit down with people and just open up our hearts and receive healing.
Okay. Well, I'm glad that you all touched on that subject because, again, we are talking about even just the mental health of individuals, but we also talk about depression as well as even stress in individuals' lives. And approximately about 1 in 5 adults, they experience a mental health problem each year. And about 6 million people are affected by depression each year. Now, why are men less likely than women to seek help for, let's say, depression or substance use disorders or stressful life events due to, let's say, social norms or just the reluctance to talk to anyone or just downplaying symptoms? How do you all feel about that?
I think the doctor touched on it. I apologize. I think the doctor touched on it in a previous question, whereas men, every man seems to be that alpha male, so they may feel weak in a sense to not want to go seek attention because they'll be looked at as, quote unquote soft or, unmanly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, how important is mental health in treating overall health?
Oh, it's linked. It's hand in hand. If the mental health isn't taken care of, it'll eventually destroy your physical health.
Absolutely.
There's so much wired into our brains that goes to other parts of our bodies. I don't even think we even even though we have awesome research and awesome knowledge out there in the medical field like never before now, but if you have something that's churning on the inside of you, you're not willing to discuss, it's going to come out in you in a physical issue. I promise you that. It may take a couple of years or several years, but it's going to show its ugly face somewhere through a health issue if you don't deal with the mental.
I think too, gentlemen, and primarily what I see in my work, and it speaks to something you said a few minutes ago, Dr. Williams. I think that there's a pride piece that comes into play. At least that's what I'm seeing in my work. But in addition to that, though, it seems, and I'm not sure how to articulate this, but I'll say it this way. It seems like you all feel that if you acknowledge that you're sick, other than the common cold that you act like you're dying from and want us to take care of you, it seems like you all feel like somehow you're not strong, or that you're, like, similar to what you said, you're less of a man, or you're somehow not that alpha that you want the world to see you as if you have any indication that there's illness, particularly a major physical illness or mental illness. The stigma that's associated with mental illness is just, it's heartbreaking because it goes untreated for so long. It's just like you said about the physical piece. Prolonged lack of treatment only exacerbates the problem, and it snowballs out of control a lot. And it's not that the issue doesn't exist with women, because it certainly does, but what I have seen is my male clients have a completely different approach. And like you said, Dr. Williams, you all, I can fix it. It's going to be okay. You've got a magic wand somewhere in the coat closet, and you can make it all better. And we know that just isn't the case.
Right.
And just to add on to that, Dr. Pitts, I believe the societal, like you said, stigma of, being a male, and I had my thought there, and it just escaped me. But I guess to narrow it down, I deeply apologize. I literally lost my thought when you were just expressing yourself. I had it, and then I lost it. So if it comes back, I'll bring it back up.
It's okay. It happens. It definitely happens.
Yeah. How about this? Now, we know that religion and spirituality, they've been associated with an increase in, let's say, positive health outcomes, especially when it comes to some disease states, such as, let's say, prostate cancer, or we've seen it in HIV/AIDS prevention, or even in substance abuse, with the 12 steps, as well as palliative care or end-of-life care. Now, how does a man's spiritual belief factor into his overall health, or does it?
Oh, absolutely. The spiritual factor is the foundation of everything we live by and live for, and that it's in our very nature and our bones of who we are. So if you take that spiritual out, we have nothing. And I think a lot of times it takes something like a major issue to get people to turn to God. But I really believe the foundation of any good mental, physical health has to have a component of spirituality, because that's what it's all about. If we don't know the Creator, how can we fix the creation?
Wow. I think that's a powerful statement, but it makes me think about those individuals who perhaps don't believe in the same God that we believe in. But it brings me back to what Dr. Bazell said a few minutes ago about the 12-step program. And I know that when I was working in inpatient drug and alcohol, one of the things that we as counselors had to provide that liberty and that flexibility, if you will, understanding that everybody doesn't believe in God, everybody's not grounded in the Christian faith, and to be very careful to not pass judgment or criticism, right? So in the 12-step program, they said, their higher power is whatever it is that they connect with that can help them to maintain their sobriety. So it makes me question, for those that don't have a spiritual foundation, because the reality of it is some people just don't. What role, if any, might that be playing in their physical and their mental health? And as I'm sitting here thinking, Dr. Bazell, because you love research as much as I do, that might be something that we want to do some research on, to really peel back the layers on that some more, to see, well, yes, for those of us that are believers, there is this huge spiritual component, but everybody is not of the same belief system that we are. And what does that look like from a physical and a mental health perspective? I'm really curious.
Yeah. Yeah, and and again, growing up where I'm from, I saw a lot of black men not going to the doctor, or just afraid to go to the doctor for whatever reason. And I know just a shortage of doctors was one of those reasons, because they may not have been a doctor that looked like them. But even like today, we're finding that still a large number of men are not going to the doctor or accessing health care. And how do we reach those guys? And how do we reach them, especially, if they're dealing with mental issues or substance abuse issues or depression or just stressful life events?
My thought actually came back to me, and it's kind of relevant to what your question is. Unfortunately, the society teaches or tells certain men that you're at a certain level, so you need to, as they say, man up and just go about yourself. But for those gentlemen who may not want to go or need assistance, I think maybe starting small groups, even so they can have a support system to make them want to open up, even if it's not going to the doctor. Being in a group setting, allowing them to open up around others that they don't, so they won't feel like they're alone, may be one step closer to them going to see or seek mental health.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's real good. That's a great idea, Desmond.
Thank you kindly.
Look, go ahead.
I'm glad you remembered what you forgot.
Exactly. I started to get worried there.
Those medical health empowerment groups. But yeah, I mean, when I think about, the lack of knowledge, right? Because the reality of it is, even though we're in the 21st century, there are still people who just, for whatever reason, don't recognize or accept the importance of how they need to pay attention to their physical and their mental health. It's people don't know. It's people function based on what their norms are, and if you have not been brought up in a community, in a household where emphasis was put on taking care of yourself physically and mentally, it becomes status quo. You keep doing what you've always done, and you keep getting those same results.
Yeah. And that also ties into the health piece. Unfortunately, in the black community, some of the foods that we eat is traditional and causes high blood pressure and diabetes and, on and on. But until you change that cycle, it's going to continue.
So what are some of the newer ways or innovative ways we can get men to, change their mentality? We talked about, group settings, but what if they don't like going to group settings? I know that there's use of apps these days and some other types of things. Have you seen anything in your practice that can sort of reach men and try to get them to change their thought patterns?
I don't have a good answer for that one. I think discussions like this, I think conferences, I think trying to get the word out of just talking about it. Men don't really have the accountability group, I think, that women do. And it's a self-harm there, because we don't want to talk about certain things. We try to keep it on our own. If we share a problem or a hurt, we're weak. But that's something that, that accountability with other men, if it's just one or two in a church setting or at work, that you could just take care of each other. It would make a huge difference.
Okay.
Well, interestingly, if I can jump in real quick.
Go ahead.
You mentioned an app, and it's ironic that you say that because there is an app called Calm, CALM, and a person can do it. They have like 3-minute segments, 7-minute segments, where you can, or anybody can tell a male that, it's a meditation, which calms the brain if someone is having anxiety or depression. That Calm app, I believe, would be very beneficial for someone who may not want to go and seek that professional assistance.
You're listening to House Talk with Dr. Lauren Pitts. Her special co-host tonight is Dr. Anton Bazell. They're talking about issues of interest to men. Join the conversation. Dial 515-605-9744. That's 515-605-9744.
Now, one of the things that we were talking about again is like the differences between men and women. Now, one of the ways that we describe the thought process of men and its difference, sort of like from that of women, is in terms of compartmentalization. Now, while there are some exceptions, again, I love research. Research has shown that men tend to compartmentalize life while women think in broader terms. Now, each of you all, do you think that men compartmentalize physical, spiritual, and mental health?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. If I'm walking to the house and walking up the sidewalk and it's 10 steps shorter to walk through the rose bush and through the yard to get to the porch, I'm going from A to B straight. Now, a woman will walk down the sidewalk, smell them, enjoy them, and take the extra long route. When I'm saying, I'm on the front porch going, I'm already here, hurry up. And I think we do that in so many other areas of our life, too. We just want a quick fix. Hand me a roll of duct tape and see if I can fix it. Instead of let's throw it out on the table and see what's wrong with some of the pieces that aren't fitting anymore. And it's just a different mentality.
Okay.
I don't know if, I'm not a man, but what I will say is that just based on my interaction with you all, certainly I would agree with Dr. Williams, even though I don't know that I would stop to smell the roses because I want to go ahead and get in the house. But no, I agree. Just, based on my personal and my professional interaction with you all, even how we explain things. You all are like A, B, C, D, E, F, and G. And we're like, well, B has 2 humps and C has a slight curve, but it's you all, it's straight to the point. It's like, you know what? This is the box for this. This is the box for that. This is the box for this. And anything outside of that box from what I've witnessed personally and professionally makes you all a little skittish. So I would have to say that in my women's opinion, I think that you all do compartmentalize everything.
Absolutely. Dr. Pitts, if we were both having a 30-minute conversation with our mothers on the phone, and we both get off the phone at the same time, I would ask you, how's your mom? And you'll give me 15 minutes in great detail of how she is. When you're done, you ask me how my mom is, I'll say, she's fine.
I'm the same way as well.
And so am I.
It really is. I'm like, yeah, and she just bought some new furniture, and there was something wrong with the car, and she went to bingo, but she didn't win anything. And you're like, oh, my God, can you please just answer the question? I did.
It's the same with shopping. You'll go into Penny's and look at every dress on every rack. I'll go in and declare when I walk in the door, I'm here for a blue suit. Can somebody bring it to me?
But
I don't care who made it.
There might be a sale, gentlemen. You must have patience with us. When there's a sale, we have to have a completely different perspective, even though we went to get our Easter dress. Come on now.
I'm with you.
Where's the grace? You have to extend some grace here.
So, we have a few minutes remaining, and in the last few minutes, I'm going to ask each of you all, Dr. Williams, Mr. West, what 3 things would you say that would be helpful for men to get them to change their mentality, to go to the doctor, to get checked out, but also to, live healthier lives and to really become less compartmentalized? What 3 things would you say each that would be helpful for men out there in America?
That's tough. Obviously, for me, I think the first one would be, as for me in my house, we will serve the Lord. The men need to wake up, pull up their britches, and start serving Jesus Christ and be the man of the house and make sure that God is that foundation. So step up. I think we also need to have a confidence in who we are and speak up. If something's going on in our lives that hurts, then be willing to speak up about it. And then maybe just stand strong, stand firm, and not waver. And be willing to make some hard decisions that, don't wait till it's too late to get it fixed. And then I'll submit the rest of my time to the next topic.
I would start with number 1, have each male try to develop self-love, because it's possible that they're the way they are because they hate the situation they're in or their relationships or what have you. But if you don't love yourself, you're going to be stuck.
Okay.
Secondly, take time out for yourself. Even if it's just taking a walk, because we're bombarded with, once again, rewinding, having so much on our plate or thinking that we have to be strong for everything. It's okay to cry. It's okay to be sensitive. Open up and share. So basically, number 2 would be open up and allow people in. The third would be don't be afraid of failure.
Wow.
Okay. Yeah, and definitely, I agree with each of the callers and the guests tonight. And so I personally want to thank Mr. Desmond West, family therapist from Delaware, and Dr. Gregory Williams, author and counselor from Houston, Texas. And most of all, definitely want to thank Dr. Lauren Pitts for allowing me to just share a few moments tonight with you on House Talk. So again, thank you from myself and from all those that are on the panel. Lauren, anything?
Thank you, gentlemen, so much. You all know me in different capacities, but the issues that you all deal with are very important to me. They're near and dear to my heart. I'm a huge, huge, huge advocate to address the issues that you all face as men, because I don't believe that society gives you a fair chance. I think that you are held to such a high standard, that at times society forgets that you're human and that you need love and support and grace extended to you as well. And that really is what this month is all about. It's about giving you all the space to discuss those things that people might not often give you space to discuss. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You all have a great night.
Have a great night.
Do the same.
Good night.
Rather than you have to try to write down, or you can just, it's up to you, however you do it. You can, Okay. Any feedback? I can't put my mic on it down today. I'll just have a question. They're going to show on that left eye. I'm going to solve this one. But they could be, like, you'll see that someone's cute, and it'll just say, we have a with a question, and they will go on things you're on the air. Please say your name for your question. Anything I can do it on the laptop. And the only problem is that sound problem. We haven't had issues actually, technology, right? And sound drops. I don't know why this happens. Where I am, I'm not typically the drop. So any issues, I'm probably going to have to. But other than that, yeah, that happened twice before. The second time it happened, what I did was I ended the show and restarted it because it occurred before the show started, and it sort of reset everything, so it was fine. I haven't. Like, I can't. That's like really gross. I can't. No, I freak out when I see a pimple, and I go to home remedies like nobody's business. I don't know. I have a dermatologist on speed dial. I can't deal with that. No, I don't like it. I'll drink water all day long. Avoid that. So I haven't watched that. I mean, I know it's a popular show, so it's a reality, right? Oh my God. Really? And they're pimples? They're pimples? Oh. That's scary. Yeah. The Commodore Ferry Bridge, is that it? So you don't come down 95. Yeah. Okay. All right. Oh. Okay. I guess I take 95 and I get off at exit 22. And because I'm coming from the south, so once I get into Philadelphia city limits, I just take exit 22. Yeah. And then it's not too far off that. It's like a right and a right and a right. I was going to say, I can meet you if it's easier, but I don't know that it's easier. I think it's probably easier to meet there. I don't know. That's why I was asking, how do you get into the city? Because parking is bad. Right. So what's an easy place to meet then? You're gonna know the area much better than I. Yeah, you're gonna have to figure that out. I don't know. I don't know where you live. Yeah, I'm just looking at your thing. I'm looking at your address. I think. Hello, the bread. I sent you bread. I'm gonna. Yes, I did, and it came back. Wait. No, that's not true. Okay, so 472 Crown Point Road, thoroughfare. Okay. Directions. 960. All right. So then, So what time would we need to leave your house? Yeah, and we can't be late. It's hard to get a reservation. That's. Mm, oh wait, it says you're not. It says you're like an hour and 16 minutes from me. I'm in North Bel Air. All right. So you're gonna already be in Philly. So you're saying it's better to just meet there. Okay. So I'll tell you, it's easier to valet. There's the closest parking lot, and it's $20 to park. Is like 5 blocks up past the restaurant. It's not a bad walk, but it's not bad. I mean, it's a straight shot, right? But it fills up. Yeah. No, you won't. You're hilarious. I can see that. So where would you park? Where would I park free? Oh, okay. Right. Right. Take a lift and then just lift over there. Yeah. Yeah. I know. All right. Okay. All right. Well, you have a week and a day to figure it out. Yeah, because I was saying if I came to your house, I'd have to factor in that time then to get back into Philly. But you're already going to be like 40 minutes. No. 6:30. I would probably leave here at. Honestly, I'd probably leave here at 3:30. So yeah, like I've been there on a Friday night, and and traffic is really bad. Can't believe that. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so the other thing I've done a few years back, I actually just took the train because my girlfriend, we did that because she lives in Horsham, and I took the train up, and she picked me up, and then we went to the restaurant, and then I just um, and then we just valeted when we got there. Um, yeah, but I don't. I mean, I don't mind driving. I'm a driver, so I don't mind driving. It's just I'll have to leave early. Train would be simpler. I'll figure it out between now and then. Because train will be simpler. Okay. But did you? I don't know if you've checked out the menu or anything like that. But it's I can't believe you've never been to Budokan. Um, because they have they have a bar. Like they have really great drinks, but they have a bar, and then like I don't know what else is around Philly, right? Sort of like a one stop, not one stop shop, but like if you go, you're not going to be pressed like, all right, well let's leave here and go have a drink. You know what I mean? It's not. You could easily stay there and chill and yeah, have a good time because it's music. You're gonna feel like you're walking into a club. You're not gonna feel like you're walking into a restaurant. Yeah, yeah. Um, so we'll figure it out. All right, you'll debut next Thursday. You'll do well. You'll deserve a treat. And you saw how fast that 30 minutes goes. Yeah. Um, okay. So, do you want me to invite Lauren? I wasn't going to. We'll just hang out. All right. Let me. I'm going to script you out, and then you're going to get a bio, 2 to 3 sentences. Right? Okay. All right. Well, call me if you need me. I'm around. All right. Have a good night. Bye bye.